We're going to see what happens. As of right now, it is not frozen on my end. We may or may not be live on Twitch, but I'm going to refresh the Twitch screen before I even start getting into this. And I think we are out here, guys. Hello, Symphony, and welcome to the inside of I Always Have Tech Issues and Streamlabs Hates Me. But as of right now, maybe it's because of the sheer talent that I have on this call right now, I am able to get off with any initial hiccups. Guys, welcome to Symphony Entertainment. We are here with a very special edition of the Symphonic Lounge discussing Darkness Emergent, the premier World of Darkness event that all four of us participated in some capacity out in Atlanta. And Victoria, we just said this, right? It was exactly 2 weeks ago.
Yep. 2 weeks today.
Which is exactly 2 weeks ago. So both of us were wheels down on the ground in Atlanta 2 weeks from today. So here's what we're kind of working with today, guys, on a loose rollout. We're going to do some introductions. We are going to discuss the event. And when we dive into the event, we're going to be discussing event experiences, individual contributions, special programming, and then we have some, hi guys! And then we're going to have some questions that were launched from Symphony's backers. But guys, because Streamlab likes me today, we are actually live. So if you have questions, please feel free to drop those bad boys in the chat, and I'm going to do my best to capture them and throw them onto a shared Google Doc that I have just so I don't interrupt people while they're talking, or we're just going to call it out live. So with that being said, I think this is a good time for us to hop into introductions. And Jimmy, I'm literally going to throw it to you first. You ready for us?
Oh man, me first. All right, so I'm Jimmy Reckitt. I've been a part of By Night Studios for I think it's been a decade now. I was very privileged to be the head storyteller, and I love the writing team for this most recent event in Atlanta, Darkness Emergent, and I'm super stoked to talk about it.
I am too. I'm still coming down from what an incredible experience it was. So I'm excited to kind of debrief just so my nervous system can kind of let go from all the excitement that I've been writing. Ernest, love of my life, you gorgeous damn person. Tell us who you are, baby. Introduce yourself.
Hello, my name is Ernest. I was one of the assistant storytellers under Jimmy, doing a lot of writing for the Darkness Emergent Atlanta event.
And Ernest, just because I'm going to push you just a little bit more, can you tell us a little bit about your role-playing background? Because it goes back decades.
Sure, yeah. So I am old enough to have tried to attack some of Jimmy's characters back in the day. I've been LARPing for 20 years, and most of that time has actually been as a storyteller, for better or worse.
Yeah. And to my other spouse, this gorgeous thing that has joined us again today, Victoria. Welcome back to the Symphony, babe. I love having you on. Tell us who you are and how you contributed to this particular event.
Yeah, Victoria Reve, and I was one of the NPCs to support Jimmy and Ernest's story. I played Seneschal Ileana. It's a mouthful every time. Seneschal Ileana Devereaux. Grandchild of Hardestat. Ventru, princess, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, been an NPC, had the wonderful opportunity to be an NPC also in Los Angeles and NPC in Vegas. And I just basically follow Jimmy around at this point.
Girl, you too?
Yep.
We're both doing the same thing. Like, where's Jimmy going to be? I'm going to go there too.
Basically.
And then, guys, again, hi, my name is Bridgett. I own the platform that these wonderful people are joining us on now. And I was an NPC for the crew out in the Darkness Emerges Las Vegas. And then I was the Prince of Atlanta, which I'm just still so overwhelmed with. I can't really talk about that. I know. I'm still overwhelmed. I'm going to probably cry on this damn stream. It'll be fine. For the recent event here in Darkness Emergent. So that's kind of who we are. But I do want to take a moment to kind of pause and kind of deep dive into what this looks like. So, Jimmy, we're going to start with you, too. You said you've been with By Night Studios for around a decade. How did you get involved originally with By Night Studios? And specifically, how did you get involved with these Darkness Emergent events?
It's been even more than a decade. So way back when they were doing the what would be the 2013 rules, that big, really thick, giant book, they needed play testers. And as they were putting together a team to write the book and researching, they went around to all the vampire clubs, including One World by Night, and I met some of the writers there. And they grabbed a bunch of us up to be reviewers for the book. So we got to do like little play tests of the game. I was like really stoked because one of the sessions was like at my apartment. I was like, man, like my apartment, like that's a cool, like
Whoa.
this is like an unknown like vampire landmark now, you know. But I guess I did an okay job of reviewing, you know, and they gave me a chance to write when they wanted to do werewolf. So I did that. The team grew and they needed more help managing it. So I got promoted to developer rather quickly. Did a few books, and then you know, when we right after COVID, you know, COVID just of course really rough, you know, on the LARP market. Games folded, you know, things closed. The clubs that did well are the ones I think that embrace Discord, and One World by Night, for example, continues to still be very Discord heavy. Other organizations, some folded, some were able to just kind of, you know, just sort of cling to life. But we thought, you know, we really need to, especially since we have a, you know, we release the next version of the rules, you know, we really needed to restart the LARP community and, you know, get people going and get them inspired with new ideas, show them how the setting could work. You know, what can you do in this new system in the V5 setting, you know, with the new stories and events that have happened. So we thought like we really need to do like this kind of prestige LARP that's something really cool with a big budget, you know, with special guests, with props, you know. And I got the chance to start that off. We did it. 2023 was our first one in San Antonio, where Cynthia was gracious enough to be our first special guest in the Prince of San Antonio, a role which she got to reprise this weekend. And it just sort of worked. And I got to tell you, before it's calmed down now, but like before the first one, you know, it's like you have that anxiety when you're having a big party, right? And
Yeah.
you know, you have a party, like everything's ready, and then you're like, well, gosh, what if nobody shows up? You know, and I had
Yep.
that. I mean, we knew people had bought tickets, you know, and there were people in the hotel dressed, you know, like I knew they were showing up, but I was like, man, what if this just does not at all work? But it has enough that we've done 5 of these, and we're looking forward to the 6th and the 7th. And for as long as they let me keep doing these. So it's been fantastic. And number 5 that we just did, especially near and dear to my heart. I think it was fantastic. I love the cast, especially fantastic cast. Great location. 2/3 of the time.
We're gonna talk about it. 2/3 of the time is valid.
Right, 2/3 of the time we had a great location, like mathematically, and I was big on the story too. So I'm really proud of this last one.
Oh,
it's RPS. It's RPS, Jimmy. 2/3
exactly,
of the time.
2/3 of the time. 2/3 of the time.
Always 1 in 3 chance to lose.
We came out real strong the first 2 times. Y'all gonna hear what we're talking about here in a second. We'll be honest with you.
Oh gosh.
We'll be honest with you. Now, Ernest, you and I play in a local LARP together. I mean, we're separated by 2 hours, but we kind of play in the same universe. But I actually don't know the story of how you onboarded, how you got involved with Darkness Emergent. What is that story?
So, I actually, somebody had told me offhandedly about, about Darkness Emergent, because while Jimmy was off becoming LARP famous, over somewhere, somebody said, "Hey man, there's this premium vampire LARP thing happening in Chicago, and it sounds pretty cool." And I said, "Okay, cool." And then I went and looked and said, "Oh, I know who this is. I know who these people are. There's Jimmy right there.
There's Jimmy." We're all following Jimmy.
So, I sent a text or a message to Jimmy and said, "Hey, do you need anything? I'm coming already, but do you need anything? Because I'm here."
Yeah.
And he said, "Yeah, actually, these are some plots we have going on, and you're playing your PC, but there are some plots you definitely could push, and some points that could be made, and I know you from playing, so yeah, absolutely." So then I've also been following around Jimmy since,
That's how he gets you. That's how he gets you.
Shirts made when we follow Jimmy.
No, please don't.
Yeah. So after that, I went to Chicago, I went to Vegas, I went to LA, and finally I was like, man, I'm having a great time, but maybe I want to storytell, maybe I want to write, maybe I want to do that. Maybe I want to do that thing that I've been doing everywhere else here.
Yeah.
On what's, what is essentially the big stage for LARPing, right? At least for vampire LARPing.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Okay. So you had a background, obviously, or already with Jimmy. You were going to one of these premiere events, and you just had the initiative to reach out and be like, "Hey, you need anything while I'm out there?" And then they put you to work, and you've been here ever since. I love this for us.
Yeah, closed mouths and getting fed. You know how it is.
Come
But-
on.
You better preach. Let them know. Get up into the pulpit, baby. Closed mouths
Testify.
do not get fed. Victoria, same
Yeah.
thing, gorgeous. I actually don't know your story of how you onboarded with this.
No one knows my story.
No one knows my story.
Well, it's very similar to Ernest, kind of. I hate throwing dates out because it makes me feel older and older, and like the cold is making my arthritis kick in. But I think it was Jimmy's been writing for longer than 10 years, because I think it was 10 years ago that I actually was writing for him for By Night Studios.
Shut the front door. Okay.
Werewolf Volume 2, was it?
Yeah,
Werewolf?
and also the Vampire Volume 2 book you wrote, Abyss Mysticism Powers.
Yes.
That were very good. They made the book.
I love being a Lasombra favorite clan. We'll get into that later.
Hey.
But yeah, so I wrote and was a part of the Mind's Eye Society, went to Blood and Betrayal, which I think was like the blockbuster LARPs of like that time. Went to Grand Masquerade, NPC'd there, had a fun. I was the ring mistress there. So I've been playing and did some storytelling in the Mind's Eye Society org, and kind of took a step back from that right basically around the time of COVID.
Yeah.
So came out the other side of COVID and moved to Las Vegas. And actually a lot of my friends that I role played with in Mind's Eye Society lived in Vegas, the ones that were supportive of me. And so I joined the Desert of Shadows troop game out here. Wonderful, amazing community. Can't shout them out. I'm left. They're addicted just as much as I am to Darkness Emergent. A lot of them went to that first one in San Antonio and again followed Jimmy around. It's hashtag follow Jimmy. I'm just joking. Don't do that. So yeah, and when ironically it lined up with Darkness Emergent Las Vegas, and okay, I had planned to play, like, I don't want that. There's a rumor that I was like literally trying to be an NBC. I had planned to play, but again, much like Ernest was like, hey, Jimmy, look at Jimmy. Jimmy's like, that's a lie. Okay. Full transparency. I may have asked Jimmy if he needed any help, because working with Jimmy it's dopamine.
It
He's
really
a great
is.
person to work with.
Yep.
And so he said, yeah, and I may have packed my 10-pound suitcase, even though I live in Vegas, and schlepped it to the Paris and was like, what you need? I got costumes.
You were the first one every time after every event to ask. Like, I think you asked me in February, like for the May event, and I think you asked me like July, like for this one.
I give the courtesy of waiting the 2-week period, Jimmy.
It's very good. It's very good. You don't remind me I need to be on top of casting and stuff. So.
But yeah, like, and one of my favorite parts, as we're probably going to get to, but one of my favorite parts of Vegas was the quick change night. I had like 4 roles. It went from the prince to the werewolf to the Bahari to the hunters.
Yeah, you were on it.
Lady Hunters.
And it was like, but yeah, thankfully because of Jimmy and BNS, I'm tagging myself professional NPC, and that's what I enjoy doing. So, yeah, that's my background.
Professional NPC is sexy, honey. Let me tell you, you put your foot into every single embodiment that you touch. You are a delight to play with and around, and you're so cognizant and so focused on the celebration of not only your fellow NPCs like me, you did the same thing for me in Vegas, but also just the players around you. Like, you're just a damn delight to have on the floor. Jimmy, you might have to send a little bit of help to me. I think it's Jimmy and not Ernest, but I just got into Vampire LARPs 3 years ago in October with like my local LARP. And then a bunch of friends from that event had gone to Chicago and had raved about like, this is like the best LARP. You just got to check it out, the way they roll out plots, blah, blah, blah. And somehow they convinced me to look at Las Vegas. Now guys, I'm be honest with you. The tickets were like $350. I was like, I don't know what the fuck somebody can give me from a LARP experience standpoint to justify a $350 price point. But all my friends were like, nah, you don't understand the way they roll out these plots and the costuming and the immersion, and you can really get like your emotions. So I agreed to do it. Jimmy, send help. Somewhere in there, I think you reached out to me and asked what I NPC, but I think somebody must have referred me. Do you remember?
I do, but I should actually confess something. We had intel on you, Ernest and I did, well before you joined One Rule by Night, actually, through
Oh,
mutual friends. So he told a story about he went to this LARP that popped up, and everybody was like in a bunker or something,
Yeah.
and how the story started, where you're trapped in a bunker and one person has a gun, and eventually these government types came and they say, we know someone's a witch, you got to send them out, and you don't know who the witch is, and somebody's a witch. And basically, our friend who is very good at PvP, he explained how you just absolutely destroyed him. And I was like, "Who is this like this friend of ours? He's pretty good. He doesn't lose that often. Like, who
No.
got the better of him?" And I just remembered this story, and I thought like I kind of want to try this bunker thing LARP if they do it again.
Yeah.
And then eventually, it's 3 years ago. We've heard that you've joined, and you've been the Prince of Columbus and everything. And then I connect with a friend. He's like, "Oh yeah, she's the one who got me," and that, but it was her. And I was like, "Oh."
Oh.
And I met you, and I'm like, "Yeah, okay, she's good. She's really good." But gosh, I think we had more special guests for Vegas than we usually do.
Mhm.
Like we had 3 leaders in the city, and when as a LARP organizer, if you have an NPC that's just introduced, you have to give them a crew.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they're seen standing by themselves. They don't look as imposing.
Yeah.
But if they've got a crew with them, a bunch of people who are just, like, "You want to talk to Theo Bell? You gotta come through me," kind of thing. Then they're like, "Oh wow, hold on, like, can I talk to him in 5 minutes? Is that okay?"
Yeah.
And then the it comes through. So I asked around, I was like, who are like really good and capable people who can help with this? And it was an easy yes for you, and
Oh.
you did such a great job too.
and you were terrifying, may I add, because that was the first event that I met you too. And when it was not game on, you were sweet as pie, cracking jokes and everything. But when it was game on, baby, you had players terrified. I wasn't sure if they were more terrified about Theo Bell or you or the combination. But people would turn the other way as you two were coming. It was kind of hilarious.
Oh God, Victoria, I love you. And Jimmy, thank you for that clarity. I'm literally gonna message that player as soon as this call is finished and just give him another thank you. Like, thank you, because I was wondering, it's like you guys reached out to me, but I don't quite remember. It's amazing getting those type of backstories. Okay. Also, it's like a full family reunion situation happening in chat. Like, so many of the players are there. Cynthia's there. Darlene, the world's worst vampires there. It's a whole family reunion situation happening in chat. Welcome, guys. And yes, it took 2 weeks to have the family reunion, and I'm still tired. Damn it. So you gonna let us breathe and try to come up for air. Okay, let us hop into some experiential overview. So, guys, I listed out all of the programming that at least I could capture. Y'all move those websites fast. Like, literally, damn, it took me forever to try to find some for Atlanta because we were already on Los Angeles. But there was Dinner with Darkness, Meet the Authority, these 3 gorgeous Seraphim after events, the Giovanni rehearsal dinner, meet and greets with the special guests, faction meetings, some internal awesomeness like vampires and vinos. Freaking Cynthia ran a V5 game. So we don't have to talk about all of it, but I would like to at least highlight some of this because I've got like Tanya and Lashia in the chat right now that's like, what is a vampire LARP? Can anybody join this? So I would like to highlight for people who might be onboarding for the first time to kind of get an idea of what the fuck we did for 3 days and why it is absolutely worth the price point. Does that work?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay. Hell, I say we launch out with Dinner with Darkness because I think all of us touched that somehow. Victoria, I don't know if you touched that or if you were just literally helping with all the setup and the prep in the
Again,
beginning.
I lurk. I lurk everywhere. I lurk and I help out and then I leave. So it was beautiful, by the way. Beautiful.
It's why you're the homies. Okay,
Yeah.
so then Jimmy, start us off. What was the Dinner with Darkness?
Well, it's Dinner in Darkness. We usually do a thank you dinner for for a certain tier of ticket holders that previously had just been a dinner. And we do the first one, and it's kind of nice. Like, I get to go up, "Hey, thanks everybody for coming. We appreciate that. Your tickets, we reinvest back into the business. You make the venue possible, the guests possible. We're so glad you're here. And then we do it again, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm kind of giving the same speech again, and at the next one. And eventually I'd gotten requests like, "Why don't you make it like an in-character dinner?" And my feedback had been like, it's very, you need to do, if you're actually going to do LARP as a dinner, you have to do it a special way, because the worst thing that can happen is that like everybody sits down and you're only LARPing with the people to the left and the right. And that's your
Correct.
experience, yeah, for almost the whole thing. So you need to seat people appropriately. You need, so that you have a good mix of introverts and extroverts and everybody mingles. You need to encourage conversation across the table, discussion topics, sharing, things like that. And I also said no because gosh, we do so much writing for this thing. And we started as a single night game with a small like 2 hour VIP game. And then we went to a like 3 hour VIP game on top of that. Then we went to 2 nights to a 3 hour VIP game. And then it became a full game. And then they're like, also write this dinner on top of the 3 full nights that you
Yep.
have to do with the same amount of staff and the same amount of time. And we still have to keep the same amount of story. And I'm like, man, I gotta figure out how to do this. But I was able to take like some of the learnings we got from doing Giovanni Dinner before in LA. Like how do you structure the evening? What NPCs have what roles? Things like that. And we did this thing where when you came in, you got to choose envelopes from 2 baskets.
Yep.
I wanted baskets, but they didn't give me baskets. But they should have been baskets. So that you either in one basket you had like insights about the guests, and we put like 3 little things, in there that you kind of knew, and you could tell people if you wanted. You could keep them to yourself. You could use them to influence and shape your conversations in your role play. These included the prince, the other guests, Tajirius, Victoria Ash, etc. And the other one was that you had it was a big celebration, and there's some people who regretfully could not make it. And so they've written a special letter. Typically, this is a very famous NPC that for whatever reason you can decide you are obliged to deliver it. So at some point in the evening or the weekend, you have to read this letter. And some of them were kind of like benign, like greetings from the Prince of Liechtenstein, congratulations to taking Atlanta. One of them was from Theo Bell, who's like, you probably not, like I know I'm not a popular face around there, but I hope you run your domain justly. I fought really hard in Atlanta, and I'm glad to see it's free from the Sabbat. Also free Jermaine. And that was, the person who had to read that, like more power to them. That was a deal. There's one from the Sabbat. Some of them were funny. There was an old lover of Victoria Ash who expressed his eternal devotion. One from an old colleague of Tajirius, and others from various important people, NPCs from various cities that we thought was kind of cool because we can't feature every NPC, of course, it'd be crazy. And this was our opportunity to do just that.
Yeah. And listen, Jimmy, I love how you sugarcoated that damn Theo Bell letter. I'm still pissed about that letter. I'm just gonna give you some additional visibility on this nonsense. So one, an anarch picked up this letter. No. Was a camp? No, an anarch picked up this letter from Theo Bell and could
It was
not
random,
wait.
by the way, totally random.
Totally random. Could not wait to present it to me because of the pure fucking nonsense of this letter. I'm still upset about this letter. So what Jimmy said is correct. There was that nonsense, but it also said you can either have the love of the Camarilla or justice. You can't have them both. Good luck on your praxis. When you're ready to defect, give me a call. Like,
Wow.
Theo Bell letter was so
Props.
good.
Arcelia wrote that. I got a shout out and give her credit. Also,
Brilliant.
player Jackie, who I've known for a while too. We also know her through One World by Night. She ran some. I need to shout her out too because she wrote something very similar to that for a Sabbat event that I attended in April. And when I saw this idea taking shape, I was like, that's pretty close to what Jackie did. So I made it a point to invite her to the event, and she's really great too.
Oh, Jackie did a fantastic job. Jackie was back in the corner having, I think it was smut development conversations with players, and that just
I think her shtick was that I didn't get too much. Maybe one of you two got more time with her, but I thought her shtick was that like werewolf smut is masquerade preserving or something. Either of you talked to her?
nonsense. Yes.
I think at one point she stole a suitcase and brought it over to us like, listen, we're talking about this in the corner. I'm hoping that the player will come over here and try to get their briefcase back. Just give them crap when they do.
Yeah.
We're going to go back to talking about smut. And I was like, how did this even happen? What is going on?
Jackie is one of those people that's very healthy to have in a floor environment like this because, yes, they're there to have a good time, but they're very cognizant and service based about the people around them. So they're really looking for ways to capture the wallflowers off of the wall, get them engaged, stir up plot. Like Jackie does it for the plot. It is just such a healthy approach to the game because it keeps the environment energized and charged and gives people something to do. So, like, Jackie, I hope you're comfortable with compliments. Otherwise, just lean in because you are loved and appreciated, babe.
Love you.
Jimmy, one thing I'm going to say about the Dinner with Darkness, and then unless Ernest has something to chime in, we can go ahead and drop down to Meet the Authority. I have done more in-character plated dinners than I care to admit, and they're always trash. Either the food is trash, and that just makes the experience uncomfortable or undesirable, or to your very previous point, you're literally stuck talking with like the three people on either side of you. And if you have insecure role players, overbearing role players, shy role players, or just somebody that you don't vibe with, you're kind of held hostage. There's no mobility. There's no getting up and moving around like you would get at like a mixer or a cocktail hour or things of that nature. You're just kind of stuck. You guys completely blew those concerns out of the water with, one, your guest presentations. Two, those letters that got rolled out. And then the one thing that they did, guys, is they handed the NPCs kind of like cross chatter talking points. No scripts. They never hand us an actual script. We can take inspiration that they give us and kind of build on it the way that we want to. But they would give us talking points and then discussion points for the table. And the discussion points are very charged, but they open up to a wide menu of things that you can latch on to. So like my character out the gate immediately started with, anarchs are not our friends of tomorrow, but they're also not our enemies of yesterday. How do we handle these? And then suddenly, bam, you've got a bomb that just went off on the table. And the people who have strong sect opinions can jump into it. And then we invited those people to stand up and present their opinions. Great way to offer spotlight, an amazing way to get people's attention on the players that like that type of attention. But then the palette would change, and then you get freaking Victoria at the end of the table. It's like, no one really cares about these tactical approaches that the prince is taking. How do you guys feel about things that you love and your humanity and the touchy-feeliness of life? And what's the one thing you would sacrifice everything for? Okay, well, that engages a completely different layer of conversation while also doing like cross-catty tension between myself and this NPC. So really, it's a whole production. The food was good. Thank the Lord. I actually took food home. Thank you to guest services who helped me with that. I actually took food home because it was really delicious, but also the conversational design is very easy to onboard and offboard onto versus just like, and I'm sitting here next to four people that I can't connect with. So well done from a design point, guys. The plated dinner, even chat is agreeing. We were a little busy. Chat was, that event was amazing.
Oh, good. Yeah. I agree. In character dinners can be super cringe sometimes if they're not done right. And the one thing, like when people start saying is the food in character, like, it's going off the rails. Like I hate that
Ernest,
so much.
look at Ernest's face.
Yeah, Ernest knows. Ernest knows. But yeah, so we did that by design. Maybe it's a good time to shout out Mark Mir, who's our Tajirius, and also Tracy, Miss Magitech, who is also our Victoria Ash.
Yes.
Both did a fantastic job at that. Cynthia Marie was there playing the Prince of San Antonio, Vera Velasquez.
Yeah.
So Khaldun Khalil, who was playing Victoria Ash's child, fared as well. But yeah, we engineered it where like we thought, this Prince that you were playing, like she's won a war. She's a strategist. She is smart. But overall she's pragmatic. But then Tajirius, who's made his life's work to study jurisprudence and the law, and he's like the judge of judges. He's an idealist, not in that he's positive, but he's like justice, believes in justice, believes in rules, whereas the prince would be like, no, I'm fighting in the streets. Like, I'm going to get done. I'm going to come home at the end of the night. I'm going to get done what I have to, to get this city back. And then, of course, Victoria is a lot more self-indulgent, about passions, things like that. And so we thought like, all right, if we make this neat juxtaposition of your viewpoints, we establish some tension that can be played off later on throughout the weekend. And we have these different channels anybody can kind of chime in on. And also I got to shout out Kelly because she worked on the topics for these as well. Did a great job. Kelly and Arcelia both persuaded me over much resistance, I will admit, to do this in character dinner, and I think it really worked.
It did. It sang. It genuinely sang. And way to have a great support team and way to trust your team as well, because plated dinners historically suck. And this was, honest to God,
You
brilliant.
feel away.
I feel a certain way about it. Victoria, I can tell you stories. And then I'll tell you after the call. Plated dinners suck. They're the worst thing ever. This one was brilliant. All right.
So then when I was like, hey, we're doing this dinner, we were like, hey, like, yeah, right.
Okay, jumping down to Meet the Authority. Ernest, do you want to tell us what that particular event was?
So the big thing about Meet the Authority is that you're giving a chance for the wider play group to meet the established court or the established head honchos. So you kind of have to make a show for all of that, because people have been milling about, because there's a certain level of syncopation between what other people are doing and what the Dinner in Darkness is doing. People are having a good time without their parents, but then their parents and all their friends come home, and now we have to clap for all of them, right? We've got Dad Jadirius and the rest of the court coming down, and I think the big part that I had to work with is staging how that was going to happen with my other fellow STs. Like, we have this space, we have this gorgeous space, but how do we use it for maximum effect? How do we bring in this court from this dinner and show them off and make them look as glorious as possible for everyone else to set the right tone?
Sorry, I got distracted in the chat flirting with Tanya. We already have one conversion who's already looking at coming to a future event. So I was making sure it's like, no, if you do, let's holler at us. We're the ones that you definitely want to connect with. Okay, so the Meet the Authority, that was Ernest Thursday night.
Right.
And that was a whole night of play that wasn't included in the base ticket, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Victoria, when Ernest is making the statement that mom and dad are all away and the mice will play, you were a part of that mice team. How was Meet the Authority for you while literally everyone else was like being cute somewhere else? Because you held that entire event while we were all gone.
I had to. It's supporting the feature folks. So the way that the Meet the Authority and the dinner kind of overlap works is that it gives a good feeler for those really intensive faction people to meet, connect, and it's like a battlefield planning. They group up and they're like, hey, okay, that's the first layer of the court.
Mm-hmm.
I did my introductions. I'm my feelers. Now you will see people beeline to the other corner to meet their group, but like, okay, here's what's going on. And you will hear stories from past Darkness Emergence, like this happened, we're not going to let it happen here.
Yeah.
Oh, this happened in Vegas, we're not going to happen here. Oh, this is a Camarilla territory. Are we going to play nice? Are we not going to play nice? And so I was able to see a lot of that unfolding and a lot of that preparation that the PCs are doing, which is fabulous because you don't have to give much. You just feed into their intensity, which is so palpable. And so I'm sitting there, and it's not, we don't do NPC theater here at all. So I lean into their conversations. I walked around and listened and peeked my head and, in an eventual extra way, but I asked them questions like, what's going on here? What happened in Los Angeles? I wasn't even there. Lies. But what was going on? Or what did you hear about the Toreador? And, so just building the tension for knowing that, because behind the scenes, knowing that you guys are going to come down, it was only 45 minutes in between the two.
That
you
feels
guys
about right,
down.
baby.
So I'm like, okay, my job is to entertain, to feed the tension, to read the room, and again, to look around. Is there wallflowers? Now, there was very rarely wallflowers because these are the people that are going all in.
Correct.
But that was the job. And then, of course, having, like Ernest said so perfectly, having that spotlight moment for the VIP featured NPCs to come in and for people to feel that energy. And it was palpable. And that always sets the tone and the stage for the corresponding nights, whether you're in love with Victoria Ash or you hate her to death. When
Yeah.
she walked in, she was terrifying. You know, and so that's one of my favorite parts.
Beautiful articulation, by the way, baby.
Thank you.
Ernest and Jimmy, this isn't next on the list, but I think because it's been brought up twice, it's a good thing to discuss, especially as you're like Tanya and you've never done a vampire LARP before and you're considering paying this price point. Just from a point of onboarding, can you guys talk us through factions and how you guys integrate factions into play? Because they became a
Ernest got
big
this one.
point of the game.
He knows the system so well at this point.
So factions. So every so we have what's it now? We have what 12 to 10 factions, Jimmy, now currently?
Oh,
Yeah, about that. So every faction has a theme and it's a crystallized theme. And as storytellers, we have the chance to write out those themes and write out stories. But the faction is a way for players to mix, for players to come together and talk about things, but also integrate on the focus of a plot point. You have a plot that we have written that gives you a real chance to affect the world around you. We write epilogues after every event for the plots that these players participate in. Win, lose, or draw, you have made an indelible mark on the world of Darkness Emergent via these faction plots. So when players come in, they come and they say, "Hey, I've made my character." And we ask you, hey, are you interested in joining a faction? And we have a small blurb about what each faction does. We could be here well past time talking about what every faction is, but every faction is, for the most part, very different. It has very different goals and very different needs, and will draw very different people. So, and also that faction may help you inform what your character is about, which is a word I like to use all the time. Hey, like I'm trying to make a character. What do I do? Hey, who's that? What kind of person were you? What kind of person are you now? What faction did you join? What clan do you have? What politics does your clan have? Or what politics do you ignore? All those things inform the person that you're going to be and the experience you're going to have. So between me, Jimmy, the rest of the STs, and the people around you, everyone is forming an interconnected story that will shine at the end of the night. And I think that's a wonderful reason to come, show up, and be a part of this event.
Yeah. Yeah. The one thing I'm going to say, just echoing on this, and then Ernest, I'm actually going to turn this right back to you while I'm talking. Can you choose just one faction at random and explain to the chat, to us, so what it is, in case people don't know? The one thing I'm going to say about factions that I like from a design standpoint is they're not specific to a certain clan. So your executive board faction is not composed of all Ventru. You get a full menu of different clans, and that's a great thing to lean on for other people with different resources, to connect with their clans, to connect with different political structures, whether you're Anarch or Cam. So I like the idea of the factions because, to Ernest's point, it's kind of cultivated based on who you are. Like, oh, I'm really into espionage and mischief and stealing. Okay, cool. We have a faction that literally specializes in that. Go hang out with your people. And by the way, here's your specialized plot. Y'all go be blessed, and let's see if you're able to recover this stolen heist painting before the prince realizes that it's gone and kills all of you. So it's that type of integration, which I wish my local LARP had for a point of onboarding, because it immediately gives people a home. It almost gives them, I'm not going to say a coterie, but it gives them something to connect to and gives them some directionality. Ernest, just give us an example of any faction.
Sure. So I love that you said heist, because my favorite faction is not the one I wrote for, but it is the Arsene Society. I grew up reading the Lupin books, Arsene Lupin, and I love the idea of a gentleman thief or a gentle person thief, somebody who is going in to get something. They have some very very strict rules about conduct and how things should get done. It draws people who are interested in either doing puzzles, thinking outside the box, but not necessarily combat people, because that's not what you're here. You're not here for a combat. You're here to think about, how can we overcome this issue? How can we get the MacGuffin? How can we secure the MacGuffin and bring it back home without mussing our hands too much, and without ruining anyone else's night? No one should know we're here.
Yep. Good articulation. Jimmy, do you have anything else you want to add on factions? I know Ernest did a wonderful job there.
So, I mean, you hit upon probably the core ideas that, you should be able to kind of it should be easy to make friends that have similar sort of interests, you know.
Yeah.
Heaven forbid you have to spend like the whole event before you find somebody else who's like about the same things you are, you know. So we set these up ahead of time. For some, that's their first moment of stepping into the game.
Yeah.
You're in a small group of, you know, depending on interest, it's 8 to 12. It's a big event. I think we had like 16 plus in LA. But you go in and then everybody introduce themselves, you chat, you can kind of dip your toe, warm up, get in character, you know. And eventually the storyteller comes in and they have an envelope. And the envelope is a letter. And the letter is something for the faction to do.
Yeah.
And the way I look at it is I want everybody to have like their own serving of plots. Like I got, you know, 150 hungry kids at this event. I got to get them all fed, you know.
Yeah.
So making sure that, you know, there's overarching stories that are bigger in scope and, you know, are different, but everybody at least gets a meal, you know, so to speak, when you are with that initial group. So, you know, and it should be a story that's designed to your interests. You know, if you are adept at sneak thievery, you know, this plot will involve that, you know, as opposed to like, well, you know, there's another plot that's about a corporate takeover. I'm not good at that, you know. So I want everybody to have, you know, everybody to get something to eat and everybody to get a plate, you know, as I might think of it, and then make sure it's something that's good for them.
Yeah. Yeah. Factions are just great, guys. They're colorful. Even on the By Night Studios Discord, which I will grab a link for. Actually, I'm a Jetty Babe. Can you just post, if you can, the By Night Studios Discord link into the chat, please, baby, if you get a chance, or if one of you guys in the background get a chance, just so people can onboard over there. Because the cool thing is those factions have groups over there on that Discord, too, where you can kind of connect with each other, which are nice.
Yeah, let me see if I can get
That's
that.
the biggest thing. Like the
Thank you,
community,
gorgeous.
the Darkness Emergent community is huge. And as a new player, like anybody who's interested, one of the best things I can suggest is going to the Discord. There is so much information, and once you decide what type of faction you want to be in, my favorite's Iron Horseman Choo Choo. But once you decide the faction that you're going to be a part of, people will like embrace you like family.
Yeah.
They will talk to you and help you build your character. They will video with you so that you have a face before you land in Darkness Emergent. They will help you with costuming. There's sheet people. They will make sheets, like sheet monsters, as I like to call them. But they will literally embrace you and help the entry be less daunting. So I can't mention it more. When in doubt, go on Discord, ask for help. We have a fabulous community.
Yeah, that community is hella supportive. Guys, y'all are really good people over there. You genuinely are. Keep that energy. 2025 is hard.
Here, I'm gonna paste the Discord invite here, and I see I have an offer from the executive board in chat. I'll be in touch about that.
Oh my God!
They want their conference table back apparently.
Y'all out here shooting y'all shot in a Twitch stream. That's good shit, guys.
They don't stop.
No,
they know what they did. They know what they did.
They know what they did.
They stop for 2 weeks between games, and then it's like, how do we prepare for the next one?
Right. Conference table on lock. Okay. Jimmy and Ernest. Oh, actually, anybody who wants it, because I didn't have anything to do with this one at all, and I didn't even get an opportunity to see it. Can someone tell us about the Giovanni rehearsal dinner?
That's all Jimmy.
Oh, let's go, Jimmy.
Okay. So that is let's see. We decided because we had so much space in Los Angeles that we wanted to do a couple like smaller events, you know, like featured games. Victoria helped write one of them, which was Tea with the Fey Queen. That went very, very well. And we also did another one that was, you know, like a dinner setting, you know, called Giovanni Family Dinner. And it was all about how the Giovanni and the Cappadocians are coming together for the first time to potentially form the Hecata, and how that might look. So they both went over very well. Unfortunately, you can't always get amazing tea service everywhere, you know, in every venue. So, you know, Tea with the Fey Queen is kind of dependent upon that working out. But we're able to do another iteration of Giovanni Family Dinner. And in the first one, there was a particular character played by Caroline, and she just made a beeline for the most elder vampire she could find and was like, hey, we should get married. And he's like, I don't have a ring. And she's like, I've got one right here. Propose to me. And he's like, and so she, they're engaged by the end of the night. I say this at the end of every game, like, I really don't know how the next one's gonna go. And at the end of that one, I was like, I don't know how this one's gonna go. Like, people really had a good time.
Yeah.
And then they're like, we want to get married. And I thought, like, well, this could really work. Like, in these feature games, it's a lot easier to inject humor into them. We try to keep it a little bit more serious, like 90% serious in the main game.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit of humor, but with these we can do like a lot more. And I thought, like, well, we could do something where it's like, two families coming together, like My Big Fat Greek Wedding kind of thing.
Yeah.
Wedding drama, showstoppers, bridezilla stuff. Like, that actually could be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So we wrote this next event, and it was just all sorts of like crazy stuff. Like, at the start of the event, they shared that the wedding is cursed. Like, every venue they booked cancels or catches fire or
Bruh.
has a problem. Like, they order flowers for the wedding, they wilt, or like the florist gets murdered. Like, the wedding is obviously cursed. So it's at the rehearsal dinner, they still don't know what they're going to do, and they brought the whole family together to try to figure it out. So they have to solve a series of problems. For instance, the bride got really drunk last night at the bachelorette party, left her purse somewhere. The PCs found it at a strip club where there was like this werewolf stripper who was like, you tell her to give me a call. Like, she really brings out the beast in me, and all sorts of like stuff that they had to mutually pledge, like, never to share. The groom didn't do much better. He had lost the wedding rings and his jacket, which he swore were not lost, but he really needed the jacket. And it just went from there. People got to solve wedding issues with little puzzles, little games on the side that they could figure out. There was a team of lawyers who negotiated the prenuptial agreement. We worked out a structure around that.
Bruh.
Catherine, for example, said, well, you cannot have a secretary that I don't approve of, and they even like pre-negotiated like how the divorce, almost the inevitable divorce would go. So it was a lot of fun. Everybody leaned into it. It was really cool. Cynthia got to play the groom's mother, and I don't know where she produced like this Italian lady wig, but she just completely looked the part, like,
She
somehow.
looks so good.
Yeah.
I had to look twice because I was like, is that Cynthia? Like,
Cynthia?
No.
I don't know where I've never seen that wig before. I don't know where she keeps. It's like I think she has like a storage unit I don't know about.
Yeah,
with, like,
number wigs.
Yeah, something. But also, I think Bruce is in the chat. Big thanks to Bruce who was able to jump in and help run something the last minute to keep the game going well. But yeah, it culminated where the curse had been put on them by all their evil exes, and so they had to go and find these 4 evil exes and like get like basically appease them and get tokens from them. So one of them was like, she ran a wildlife sanctuary, and she went on vacation once, and she asked the groom to watch her cat, and the groom didn't feed the cat, so it died. And then he turned it into a zombie, like thinking she wouldn't notice.
Wow.
And she was really upset.
Yeah.
The bride had like basically like a I can fix him type of artist boyfriend who was like a changeling, I think, who was still kind of like bemoaning and writing sad poetry about her. It was stuff like that. It was a lot of fun. We got to really lean into the humorous side of the World of Darkness, and hopefully everybody really enjoyed themselves. But I gotta say again, I have no idea what they've asked for a third. I have no idea what I'm doing for the third. I have to figure that out.
Let's go.
Feedback, nods, and pure recaps on that Giovanni dinner on the Bite Night Studios Discord is absolutely amazing. People are still raving about it, and holy hell, Cynthia, one, looked delicious, but also you're just like, is that Cynthia? What is happening right now? Like,
yeah. I walked by and I had no clue. Like, I was like, who's this extra lady they got? Oh shit.
Like, who's the extra talent? What's going on right now? Like, Cynthia looks so good, but boy, it was a shell shocker. Okay, I'm looking at our time right now, and I'm trying to be cognizant as we're kind of walking into like the last 15, 20 minutes before we jump out of here. Because we're talking about the Giovanni rehearsal dinner, Jimmy, that was like a 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock game, right?
It was like around lunchtime. I think
it was around lunchtime. So the cool thing about the Darkness Emergent experience, guys, at least for someone who's attended twice, that isn't like working full time like Ernest and Jimmy are, is you kind of can a la carte your daytime experience. If you're there for the LARP at night, great. If you want to fuck around and just have breakfast or sleep in or hang out with your friends all day, go across the street to the Georgia Aquarium, or not do anything, lounge, you can do that. If you want to hop into other additional programming, it's available to you. So whether it's the Giovanni dinner or whether you have freaking Cynthia running V5 for you, or if you have another, I think at in Vegas there were other high influencer celebrities that were running tabletop games, you can do that. If you want to hop into like you guys had in Las Vegas a Call of Cthulhu LARP, wasn't it? Or wasn't it a King in Yellow?
Oh, it was so good. God, Bruce just ran a phenomenal King in Yellow game. Like I was there. And yes, somebody made a comment like 30 minutes ago about B Dave looking 400 feet tall because he's all legs. Like it just like, oh man, like it was such an experience. I almost want to do a talk back about that game because it was so good.
It needs to happen. I tried. Last minute. I was like, okay, I have no context what King of Yellow is. I haven't dove into Call of Cthulhu, but now that may be a new favorite. And I'm like, sure, I'll try it. The mind warp, like knowing and have LARP for a while, the mind warp that King of Yellow does, the production value, the lighting, like I was shocked, gobsmacked. Which does, like, to what you're saying, if you really want to try different things, you can do that. And it's a mind shift. It's kind of relaxing a little bit to get off of like the high intensity political turmoil of Vampire. And then you go play that, which is still horror. Yeah. But it's a mind shift. It gives you a break from your character, which is decompressing.
Yeah, it's a palette changer, which is just really nice. So like guys, these experiences come with daytime programming too. So you can hop into, a tabletop game with one of your favorite streamers, or you can hop into, a Mythos game with Bruce. You can just, lay around in your hotel room without a bra on and stare at the ceiling if that's what you need to do to decompress from the night before. And that's completely valid. They also have other daytime programmings, and I'm going to tee this back over to Jimmy because I in particular ate the Vinos or the Vampires and Vinos experience up. Like I could have been up at front, like licking the monitor off of just the value that was on that particular screen. Bruh. Oh, by the way, Jimmy, I meant to ask you for that PowerPoint. I'll send you an email after.
Oh yeah, I got to clean it up actually. Yeah, that's fine. But yeah, actually one more thing. Bruce, I think is planning on doing a second run of King in Yellow, and if you're able to join us for LA. So if you didn't get the chance to do that, I didn't get the chance to do that. That's a good chance to see it again. Bruce is a genius, by the way. I'm so glad to work with him. I'll let that sink in. Okay, but so we do a special talk called Vampires and Vino. We try to mix it up as to who does it. It's been Corrigan before. Jason Carl is usually gracious enough to do it when he comes in. So I decided to take a stab at it this time. And it's kind of a dealer's choice as to, what we share. For the most part, these are people who've worked for the brand for World of Darkness before, and it's something kind of interesting to them. And I thought, as Ernest knows, I make a lot of slides and, stuff. I use the whole consultant toolkit for, when we to run the development process and all that. And I thought, like, gosh, I've got all these insights and all these things I put together. Like maybe they make an interesting discussion. Like I don't know. So I gave it a shot. Like I shared like kind of all the behind the scenes stuff as to how we think of things. Like we're very aware, about things like how many people can really do a thing together. For example, like. And when does that start to decay? So I will tell you, we think about if you have just a single task, around 6 people can do it. But then when you start to add more, then somebody's probably going to get left out or come away feeling like I really didn't get to do a thing.
Yeah.
And if you've got 12, then like 2 or 3 people are just going to get boxed out entirely from it, And so if you're writing a story, or something that's supposed to be for a group of people, you have to address that and plan accordingly, If you have a game that's like, let's say 40 people or under, if you run any sort of away team mission, dungeon crawl, side scene, you will take all the air out of that room. So you need to do that sparingly or very much have some plan to inject energy back into the main room if you're pulling, 6, 7 people out to go raid the Sabbat Haven or something like that. But that changes if you have a group that's, let's say, 40 to 80, and then, when you have like 80 plus, 80 to like 150, it's even more different. But then once you get to a really big game, other things happen. Like you may run a story and 25 people may say, "Oh, yeah, I want to do that. I want to go to the warehouse to fight fight First Light or something,
Yeah.
And then if you have a really big game, you might have what we had happen in LA, which is 50 people were very interested in joining with the Iron Horse in an epic battle,
Yes.
and we figured out how to
Yes.
handle that quickly and effectively. But like these are some of the things that I think LARP organizers, storytellers, it's all good stuff to know and keep in mind.
Yeah.
We as we do this for a while, like we do our best to kind of learn, almost exhaustively so from what worked the last time, what didn't.
Yeah.
We've got a bunch of recipes just from doing this a few times that I think work really, really well. We have some things that we're like, hey, this never works. Trust us, just stay away from it,
Yeah.
or at the very least, we haven't figured out how to do it just right, So I put all that stuff together, made what I hope are some decent slides. There was a lot of that, and hopefully shared some good insights with people that can help others improve their own games.
Yeah, no, it was crazy value. For someone who works professionally in the industry, I was sitting there like, I never thought about that. I wonder if that ratio is correct from storyteller to player. That's how he's running plots. Oh, that's why they don't do that here. I mean, Bridgett got her wig pushed back. I was pretty excited about it. Okay, last thing about program. Oh, sorry, who did I interrupt?
No, you're good. I actually just wanted to shout out Jimmy because Jimmy is a big proponent of not doing this thing called the no sell, which is like being available, being willing to like be affected by things. And I talked about a bit about this at the wrap up, which was vulnerability is key to playing any game. Like being vulnerable with your storyteller, with each other, because that is where all the good stuff happens. When you allow yourself to be affected, when you allow yourself to to be amazed by things or be shocked. Just being the stone, the stone person is only good a few times before it's old and dusty.
You're not wrong.
Yep. Lose to win.
You are not wrong. You are not wrong. Yeah, we come here to hurt and have a good time, like tell colorful stories. All right, beautiful people. The last thing I want to touch on programming, and guys, I just want the viewers to know, I didn't hit the entire list. I cut things off just so we can start moving through and kind of getting us to a wrap off. But the one thing I did want to address, because I think it is a very strong cultivator of community in the By Night Studios kind of like ecosphere, are the Seraphim events. So we've talked about all the fun things you can do in the morning, all the fun things, this menu of opportunities you have during the day, and then you play your LARP from like 7 to 11. But literally the event doesn't fucking stop there, because from 11 to 2 a.m. there's Seraphim. Who wants this deliciousness?
You know what? I think I'll jump on the social grenade. So, Seraphim is great. So the first night, usually in the last 3 events I've been to, the first night is kind of soft RP if you want to, but you also have a choice just to go and hang out. Yeah. It's a beautiful club experience. Sometimes there's shenanigans going on. It feels like all the time there's shenanigans going on, but it's a beautiful time to just kind of slowly decompress from Vampire, meet other people in the community, have those one-on-one conversations if you didn't get a chance to, and just, connect. Mm-hmm. Some of us who have the older age, I'm not going to mention names, go to sleep like in Atlanta. But yes, and it's optional, but it's a great way to just connect with your other players from all over the US, like from Oregon to Atlanta to Chicago to Texas. You just have a chance to meet. The second night was the second night karaoke. My nights blend together, but we also had a karaoke night.
Karaoke night was,
I think karaoke, Elise, I totally okay with being wrong, but I experienced it in Los Angeles with Lamar the Con guy. It was so much fun.
Oh, Lamar.
So much fun. I can't say it enough. We all got there and was singing songs and dancing in this beautiful ballroom, dancing in circles, screaming and singing. And I had no idea until I looked at the programming that it was going to happen in Atlanta. And when we went to Atlanta, we shut it down when it came to karaoke. We all just, again, got a chance to, have a couple drinks, sit down, You get to talk through what you experienced. It's a great way, going back to decompression, it's a great way to prevent bleed proactively. I
Yep.
can't stress that enough.
Yep.
Because you can talk through the things that were bothering you with other people who may have had more experience and say, okay, I was feeling this way and this happened. And it gets you to shift your perspective and kind of prepare yourself for the next night.
Yeah.
But it was super fun in Atlanta. We did karaoke. We're all singing and dancing in Apache. It was fun, and then we all walked in the rain back to the hotel. And usually, it's either in the hotel or very close to it. Very never do we ever have to walk very far. Thanks to Jimmy and the staff for making everything so close,
So close.
so we don't
Yeah.
have to schlep. But yeah, you basically just get to have fun and hang out, and it's community building again. Get your pictures with your friends, talk with your friends, share contact information, talk about good, bad, and ugly, decompress. It's always a safe space. I will say that, which is huge in the LARPing community. Nobody puts up with any bull crap. And we all look out for each other. So even when it was just like one block away, we all walked in a group. We all stayed with each other. We got there okay. We got back okay. So it's a really good feeling just to be in a safe environment and to let your hair down and to party.
Yeah. Beautifully done, baby. Well done. Beautifully done. To Victoria's point, it's kind of like aftercare in a lot of ways. Like you've hit these
It
high
is.
intensity, high emergent scenes, and it's literally like your aftercare afterwards. And all social facing. Okay. Jimmy, Ernest, and Victoria. I'm looking at the time right now. If we had 15, 20 minutes left, we've got some good shit still to talk about. I'm looking at the shared document right now, and I'm just going to open face what we're looking at so I can prioritize. Do we want to do favorite plot? Take it or leave it?
Ooh. Yeah, let's get into it. Let's
Okay,
get into
all right.
flavor.
I'm going to highlight that green, so we're going to do the favorite plot. Challenging moments, hurdles, and obstacles. Can we just go ahead and just address the venue on the third day and get that out the way?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Jimmy or Ernest, one of y'all want that one, and we can just cross that right off the list and get it out the way quick.
I got to answer for that. So 66% of the time, fantastic venue.
Yeah.
You know, it had gorgeous views of the city, this nice balcony. Weather was perfect. You know, it tried to rain, but it lost. It wasn't able to win, ruin our good time. It was a little balcony, you know, with like all sorts of glass everywhere. Fantastic photos. There's a helicopter pad on the top. The VIP guests, they got to arrive via helicopter and land on the roof of the building and then come down as everybody applauded. I mean, they didn't. It's not like they flew the helicopter, but they still got applause as all the same. The venue was booked the third night for a wedding, unfortunately. And you know, let's see, we had the test kitchen booked. We visited it, and then we're like, yeah, this is too small. And so the events team is like, all right, we're switching the venue. I'm like, great, cool. And they, you know, we went to this company. We're like, hey, can we? This is a little bit. We're having, you know, fantastic sales. Can we upgrade to a bigger venue? And they're like, no. I'm like, but we'll book a big. You own like 6 of these restaurants. Let us just get a bigger restaurant. They're like, no, you can have that one. And we're like, we're stuck. But we made it. I think we made it work really, really well.
We did.
I mean, like, I would say if there were 10 more people, it would have been too crowded, but we were able to, I mean, we made use of every inch of that space. We ran stuff outside, you know.
Yep.
Once again, weather was gorgeous. Could not, you know, not a cloud in the sky that night. You know, we managed any use of like the main floor effectively. Probably more on that later. You know, there was and there were a couple tables upstairs that people grabbed. There's a couple shady nooks, and we used every single bit of them to close out the night.
Yeah. Guys, that
But
that venue on
next
that
time
third
bigger.
night was a struggle. We made it
Yeah,
work.
yeah, but we did it. You did it too. You did it really, really well. You know, handling all the announcements, keeping people engaged, et cetera, et cetera. Like you kept us all running on time. It was perfect. So I really appreciate that. But yeah, I will say though, it's having done a few of these, it's when things happen, it's really just a matter of when. Like usually
Yeah.
it's like 1d6 things every event, you know. There'll be some kind of struggle. So it's like after a
Yep.
while, you're like, well, we've got a good group of players, we've got a good crew, good NPCs. We're gonna have a great time in spite of this. And we really did.
We made it work. Darlene, the world's worst vampire, like, yeah, we got real comfortable with each other real
Exactly.
fast, but we made it work. But we made it work. All All right, guys, I just did a quick condense, and I'm going to hit these last four and go ahead and get us out of here. So, the one thing I do want to address, because it's a really big thing at Symphony, and as Victoria and Ernest are both very regular members of the community, Ernest is even a backer of the Symphony. We don't play about our safety by any means. We have a diverse array of people. We are sex positive. We are queer friendly. We are kink friendly, and we don't play about threats in our community or people that would make us feel unwelcome. That's just something that's core to our identity. When you're dealing with LARPs and LARP communities, I ain't gonna sit up here and look y'all in the face and act like safety and toxicity ain't a real damn thing. So this question came up on the backers, and I do want to address it at least with Ernest and Jimmy for sure. What does player safety look like? What can a player expect walking into this $500 event with, I just froze. It's okay. It'll come back. The audio should still be working. Zoom will come back here in a second. What does player safety look like as I'm walking in with 200 people that I've never met before at a $500 price point? How do you guys handle safety?
Well, I think that the first thing is we have a big check-in just to kick things off. Like, hey, this is what, these are the people you're going to be in the room with. These are the ways that you can check in and be safe with each other. We make sure that the security staff is well known. Jimmy does a great job vetting the SC crew, and we all do our part in making sure people are safe and checking in. And if someone's not having a bad time, we have a great LARP mom who will tell you you didn't do so good. We actually had somebody didn't have a great time one night and say, hey, just letting you know, you didn't do great.
Yeah,
do better.
Yeah.
So there's that accountability portion. Not only are we telling you what safety looks like, but we're also showing you. We're also saying when something did not go wrong in the community, did not go great in the community. Hey, how can we fix this right now?
Yep. As far as the LARP mom, I was flabbergasted and so proud when she stood up and was just like, hey, because you're dealing with like premier events and you're expecting some level of like just being lied to, like you get with any type of corporate event. Everything was great. We hit all of our marks. It was 12 out of 10, no notes. And just the transparency for By Night Studios to be like, hey, we collectively had a player that didn't feel great. Let's do better, and these are ways how. I was just like, that's so damn refreshing. Damn refreshing. Jimmy, I'll kick it back to you. Sorry.
Oh yeah, thanks. I mean, that's something. It's not a case of like if. It's just when you have 100+ people. If 99% of your people have a good time, that's still one person. In a 200-person event, that's two. And the way I think of it is that if we do a great job, it's 1% and it's not 5. And heaven forbid it be 10. We'd be terrible if it was 10.
Yeah.
But on top of that, we've got Coop as our dedicated security professional. Who's fantastic. He's done so many of these events, since before even I signed on to By Night Studios. And he's really, really good. He helps enforce all that stuff, which is just helps a lot. I will say also, I mean, we as STs, we go around, we try to talk to people who aren't doing things. We'll try to write plots that appeal to a wide variety of play styles too.
Yeah.
And as I mentioned in the Vampires and Vino talk, like we found that like basically you're going to get in 1 or 2 tracks. Either if you're new, you come in and you make friends.
Yep.
And then you make friends, you have a good time, information shared, go to if you have help, and you feel good. But if you don't initially make friends, then you feel shy, you feel insular, you don't want to talk to people and bother them and things like that.
Yeah.
We want to keep an eye for anybody who's on that track. So, we try to introduce ourselves by name to make sure you know who we are, I will follow up and go talk to people again. I remember one player who I was really, really proud of him by the end. He got a hold of a boon from Tajirius, and he's like, I want to ask Tajirius to teach me a discipline. It says on here, he'll teach me a discipline. I was like, all right, let's go do it, and he, and he's like, well, he's kind of busy now. I don't want to go up now. I was like, all right. Well, I'm going to check on you later and see if you've been able to do it, and he did it like all by himself. And I was like, you just went up to Jirius. I was like, and that's Mark Meir. That's Commander Shepard you just talked to. You're his student now, And he's like, oh, I guess I am. And I was so proud of him. And then who he wanted to talk to next? Bridgett, he wanted to talk to you. He was so excited to talk to you. And I saw him wander over and start to talk and everything. And he did a great job. And you gave him some of the plot items that I kept in reserve for people who maybe needed a good injection in the plot, so I had those ready to go. And I hope he enjoyed himself. I really hope he had a good time. No, he said he had a good time at the wrap. So
At the wrap up.
I think that's great. But yeah, we do our best. We really do. We've all remember our first LARP, and we've been to some that have, I think you do this a long time, it's really easy to be like, I remember my best LARP, I remember the worst LARP, and you don't want anybody to have that experience, at all.
No, well done and well articulated, especially just with a woman coming into a LARP environment. I'm sure Victoria can speak to this too. You guys do a really great job with safety. The last thing I'll say, at least on that corner, and then we're going to jump down to our final three here, is your ratio between staff and players is healthy, and you guys make yourself big visible. So I've been in lots of LARPs where I could walk around for 40 minutes and not be able to identify who the fuck the storyteller was. With you guys, at no point did I need a storyteller, and I had to walk around for 15 minutes to try to find one. Somebody was in a line of sight, whether they were running a scene, in a scene. Yeah, in a vest. No matter what.
The vest took a minute. Like the first event, we did like glow sticks. And then, we get the feedback, oh, I had a great time. It was so hard to find an ST. And I'm like, but we had glow sticks.
We had glow sticks.
And the second time, I was like, all right, well, we wore bright colors or something. And then after that, they're like, oh, good time. Still couldn't find any storytellers. And then I go to the business team and I'm like, I want bright red vests. I want them to be obnoxious. I want to be visible from across the room. I wanted to, and then finally we debuted those in in Vegas. And then I hear the feedback finally, oh, really easy to find ST. The red vests were a good idea. And I'm like, all right, fine, we're doing vests. And then
so loud.
This time out, for whatever reason, they just didn't come back as red. And half the team was like, oh, good, thank you. I don't want to wear this again. But I was like, they're not red. We're not visible enough. These will have to do. And we're awaiting the feedback. Maybe we need to attach glow sticks to the vest or something.
No.
I don't know. But we want to be visible. We want to be findable, and most importantly, accessible. On top of it. And we work to keep our schedules free too. Like I grill everybody on time management. I think that an hour-long wait for a storyteller is absolutely unacceptable, especially when you pay as much that, we're getting people's vacation money, So I do my best to push things like scheduling, right? Rather than saying, oh, when you're ready to advance a plot, find the storyteller. It's like, no. The storyteller will meet you at this corner at 10:30.
Yep.
And so that everybody knows, and then the storyteller can say, hey, listen, guys, I'm helping you out, but I got an appointment at 10:30 right over there. This is going to take longer. Let me help you get somebody else. None of this just, like a meat counter ticket, whoever's next kind of no.
DMV.
Absolutely.
The
we try to
DMV
manage
vibe, And I've been in games like that, and they're frustrating. And that's not
I do want to give you credit, Bridgett. Going back to the player safety, one of the things that I feel like we've natively done, but even more so in Atlanta, is consent and calibrate. Bridget's NPC was very crazy and was doing touchy-feely vibes, and every single time, it must have been like 40 or 50 players, and I don't know how she did it without going insane, but she would go and be like, is it okay to touch you? Is it okay to get this close? And actually pause and wait for your response. So consent and calibrating, like, is this content okay with you?
Yeah.
Is it not okay with you? And giving the player that agency, that speaks high to player safety as well. So I wanted to give you kudos because I saw it the whole entire weekend.
Holy shit, Victoria. Thank you. Genuinely thank you. And thank you to every player that let me sniff you, because my nose went up into a lot of business. So we had a good time. We got real close. All right, guys. Thank you for that, Victoria. Genuinely, I genuinely appreciate that shout out because it's important. All right. I can bind this first one. I think I'm going to start with Ernest, jump to Victoria, and go to Jimmy, unless that order doesn't work for any reason, and then we'll do whatever the hell we want. What was your favorite moment with another player, NPC, and/or your favorite plot?
So, my favorite moment with a player, which dovetailed into a plot I was running, I had this Hakata PC who was chasing down my plot, which was essentially a plot about the value of life and the value and is life worth taking to enrich your own life. And this player, kind of like ran with like some of the darker aspects of that plot, and he said, "Hey, this really dovetails in some like things like that my PC has going on, and I really appreciate it."
Yeah.
And he went all the way in, and he actually went out and because the plot mechanics really messed him up like night one, and so he went out and said, "I have to go buy makeup to show off how badly this messed me up for night two."
That's dope. Well done, player.
That's
Way to
why
buy
he was.
in.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, that guy said this messed me up so bad. I have to go find makeup now to change my appearance because this is how much I am into what's happening, but also how much this plot has messed me up as a person and a player. So,
Oh, that's so dope. Ernest, I'm just going to take a moment to hold up a mirror to your face. Congratulations. That's good shit.
Yeah.
As a writer and a storyteller, you got somebody running to the damn grocery store in between
Yeah.
games to keep up with your nonsense. That's good shit, Ernest. Congratulations.
Thank
Can
you.
you imagine that conversation? It's like, what can I do for you today? Well, I need makeup to make myself look disturbed because I was at a really intense LARP last night. And they're like, that aisle right over there. Oh, another one. Like, yeah.
Oh God, another one. Was it Ernest? Did Ernest break you too? Yeah, we got the Ernest special. Aisle 7.
There were
This
a
is
lot
like
of-
an Ulta promo code that like, collecting money.
there were a lot of shook people who came back and was like, I don't know, if I should have gone in there. And that was really good. Like just
Yeah.
saying, hey, this rocked you emotionally, but we were all still okay, and we consented to the RP, but it was good for you,
Yeah.
but also good for your characters.
Well done, Ernest. That's a great mirror to hold up to yourself and congratulate yourself. You understood the assignment and you executed. Well done. Victoria, I bet I can guess one of yours, but I'm curious what you're going to share.
Oh, don't do it.
I'm not going to guess. I'm not going to guess. It's all you. It's all you.
There was many.
There's so many.
And me and Bridgett literally like joked about the different plots that were happening throughout the weekend. But my favorite was Trial of Germain, and I'm only gonna say it because I love court TV. I watch it religiously. So seeing how prepared these PCs were to deal with something that is like on the bridge of so canon, but like a continuation of, was like I was sitting there with my drink just watching, like, oh, this is good, and just hearing them go back and forth. And for the fact that he was like the way that ended, I was like, no. Like when an NPC, when I like I don't know how the outcome's gonna be, but I know this is happening. And when I'm gobsmacked, it was just it gave me the chills. I got goosebumps. And then because of the end of it, the way that ended, and the lose and win, I decided, like, with all that energy, I was like, I have to do something crazy with this energy. So I leaned in and I was like, I went and took my very Camarilla, very upstanding venture to talk to the Anarchs to say, hey, what can you do to get me a conversation with Jermaine?
Yeah.
And one of the players who I had worked with throughout the night was like, here's a boon on him. It was given to me. I'm like, okay. And one of the other plots was wrapping up, so I went to fight with the Anarchs, and we came back in and gave status, and I was like, I'm cashing in this boon for a date. It was a total joke, and shout out to Vivone Maquette for even leaning in, because realistically that would not happen. But that is the type of shenanigans that happens at Darkness Emergent. You think it's not going to happen, and it does. So,
and it does. Yeah. And it has lasting brilliance. Because Victoria, this shit was so good. Oh. Jimmy. Favorite moment with a player, an NPC, or your favorite plot?
Yeah. All right, can I like speed run a couple quick ones? Because
Hell
like
yeah.
it's so much good work. I want to. Okay, good. All right, so Chris did like yarn laser grid for the Arsene Society, and that was something that took a ton of work and was really cool. And I need to shout it out because not a lot of people got to see it, and they really had a good time doing it. BJ did really good work. He insisted that like with the smaller group of better player to ST ratio, since we had more storytellers per player, we could really touch on some people's backgrounds. So he did this program called Bad Things, where he worked out like these little pods and people play each other's like touchstones and things like that. It was really good. So I'm so thrilled about that. Let's see. Bruce also convinced me to allow a short dance Thursday nights.
Oh,
Yeah, the dance.
I was like, Bruce, I'd never do this in a LARP, but I trust you. I was like, but you know what you're doing, so go for it. You know, if it works, it works. And Cynthia choreographed that, and it was I was like, okay, maybe we do something there. I had a ton of fun with the Haymarketers running this plot. Theo Bell shipped him the Seneschal who had done Dirty, and he's like, "Look, I got too much heat. This guy's a Tremere. I don't want Tremere problems. You guys figure out how to do it." And the Haymarketers opted for street justice. Like I had all these rules. I was like, okay, if you could take him to Tiberius, and here's the evidence that you might want to bring, and you could take him to the prince, and the prince will probably react this way, or give him to his clan, or have an anarch trial, and they're like, he's got to go. Like, no. And then like there was this whole other dungeon crawl to like resolve it, but I actually will get on the trial Jermaine bandwagon. I will admit, Jermaine is my favorite NPC in the system. Everybody's allowed one. I make fun of people who
Everyone's allowed one.
I know. Well, I make
Yep.
fun of people who are just like, oh, they love that NPC too much. I was like, wait, no, I actually really like Jermaine.
Yeah.
Daniel ran that, and I told him run it straight. Like outcome indifference is the most important principle in storytelling. For players to have full agency, you cannot care how the story ends. So it has to be fair. So they had a fair shot. By the way, I read somebody posted in the chat that apparently the venue was watching the trial and they were really glad that the defense won, which is hilarious. Like we've had moments we've run games and then like the staff somehow gets invested. Like I remember Victoria, you were there, Blood Betrayal 3, where like we had circus performers because it was Cirque themed.
Yes.
And after like we paid the circus performers to do their thing, like, no, we want to play now too. We're like, okay, cool, you're NPCs and go around and do this, So that the staff was interested in the child Jermaine was amazing.
It's dope.
Yeah, Mark Muir was an incredible Tagirius, the stoic judge, no BS out of that guy. It was just fantastic. And then like I'm just watching there because at one point I'm like, hey, I don't know how this is gonna go. Like
Right.
I haven't, I didn't check in with, I haven't checked in with Daniel. Like I'm actually deeply curious. And again, this is my favorite NPC. My friend Ando actually got to model for Jermaine in one of the last books. I was so jealous of Ando. But he got it right. And then Jermaine gets acquitted, and the room erupts. And then I go to Maquette, and I was like, "Go take your victory lap." And like Tracy's standing over there, and he just walks up, and I just start filming it. And Tracy is wonderful. First thing she says to me, "I want a frenzy check." And I'm like,
valid.
yes, girl, you need a frenzy check. And she won outright. She won outright. I was like, what do I do if Victoria Ash loses? Like,
and frenzies at this damn.
There will be violence. Like, I'm not gonna fiat. I am not gonna say she auto passes. Like, there's no way. And she did not tie. She outright beat me. Thankfully, Tracy's chop hand prevailing. And just has this blow up at him. Which I think I posted a video on the Discord. As Maquette is just like grinning, like he got away with murder. It was such a good end of the weekend. I was really thrilled. That said, I'm still figuring out how to say yes and to this. This whole chain of events happened because of stuff we did in Chicago. Ernest was a part of that, in fact. There was the provocation for this summit was that the Anarchs said they had a red lister captured, and the Camarilla was like, all right, we'll talk. They worked out the deal that got them Las Vegas. So that made Vegas an Anarch city rather than a Camarilla city, And then in Vegas, I was like, all right, well, how vested are the Anarchs in the cause of Jermaine? And some players are like, yeah, we think Jermaine's going to get done dirty. So we are going around, we are kidnapping any Camarilla people who we don't like, and we're giving them our own trials. Like and so I'm like, all right, the Anarchs have formed mobs to enact street justice, as a warning to handle Jermaine fairly. Part of the negotiations in Chicago, because I wrote out a bunch of possibilities, is they've successfully negotiated Jermaine gets a trial. So I thought we got to do the trial. And then when we had, Mark to be Tagirius, I thought like, this is the judge of judges. Like, if we don't do the trial here, I don't know when we do it, so we have to do it. And then Jermaine gets acquitted. So I have some things in mind as to how it goes from there potentially. But I've been so thrilled with this, like being able to get to incorporate players' stories and the outcomes of big events affect the next one. It's one of the coolest things about getting to do this.
Jimmy.
I was hanging on the edge of my seat with that one. I was like, what's gonna happen
What's
next,
gonna
Jimmy?
happen? What's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? Yeah, Jimmy, that was such an empowered articulation. Well done. And I'm gonna say, just as somebody who was on the inside, I was there when staff told Mark Muir, "Do what your character wants to do. We don't have a direction either way. You can find him guilty and kill him on the spot. You can acquit him. It's however the players sway you, go." And freaking Mark Muir goes like, "Okay, hurt."
He was so good. He was really, really good.
Yeah, he was
It's
big,
scary.
brilliant. He was big, brilliant. All right, beautiful people. For my favorite moment, what I'm going to actually do is I posted this video to the By Night Studios Discord Nods channel. It's all of the gifts that were either purchased or handmade or given to me by Night Studios or given to me by the players. I have a whole video on that, and I was going to play it in the middle of the stream, but I'm kind of paranoid about Streamlabs right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to attempt to play it at the very end of the stream. So we're going to close, and then you'll see that video. You'll get a whole screen, and we'll be out of here. But the last two things we're going to close on very quickly, rapid fire. What's your favorite clan? Oh, we got quiet then. Oh, it's still quiet. What's your favorite clan, guys? Y'all struggling today on this
Are
one?
they calling us, or we don't order something, or what?
Yeah, no.
I mean,
We'll do order.
Let Jimmy structured. You got to give him a structure.
Give him a structure. You're right. Jimmy is a
I
walking
wonder-
PowerPoint. I saw that in the chat. Okay, we'll start with Victoria. We'll go in my overlay order.
Okay, La Sombra and Giovanni, both sides of the Oblivion. Those are my favorites.
Okay, Ernest.
My favorite clan is Salubri. I don't play it often because they should not be played often, but you can't keep me away from a paladin, you know?
Oh, yeah, that's strong.
Oh my God.
That's strong. I'm going with Ventru. Let's everyone pull out their surprise face at the same time. And Jimmy.
Oh,
Shut up,
Bruhan,
Ernest.
without a doubt. Like
Yeah.
I like I don't know, I just identify with people who get into trouble and break rules and stuff. I even tell the writing staff, like, hey, these are the rules. If you don't try to break these rules, and I know you're not trying hard, so think of give me your best ideas. Challenge these.
Can we do something like if there's so many views or subscribes, Jimmy will NPC as a Bruja in LA? I'm just saying.
I mean, listen. He caters to the people, yo. The people give him what he wants. I love it. Okay, Jimmy, I don't know if you're watching the Twitch stream in the background. I forgot to ask in the pre-show, and you don't have to, but I am putting up a flyer right now of Darkness Emergent LA. Please tell us high specs on what we can expect, how we buy tickets, and how we can get involved in that upcoming event.
Oh gosh. Well, darknessemergent.com. I'm sure this will be, you'll be seeing stuff in our Discord.
Yep.
If we've told you anything ever, we probably email you a lot about it. So thank you for not relegating us to your spam folder. We forget. Let's see. We'll be back at the Biltmore again, and one of the things I'm really proud of is that the sites, the venues, they appreciate us. They want us back.
Yeah.
Everywhere we've been, just about that, they're like, hey, will you come back next year? We want to do this.
Yeah.
In addition to rooting for Jermaine, but the Biltmore loved us, and they were so good to us. There's a lot of movies that get shot there. Actually, if you wander the halls, they have like photos of all the movies that that have been. It's really, really cool. It's a historic hotel. It's amazing. We got a ton of space, so we're gonna be back. They wanted us back, and they give us a pretty good deal on hotel space too. I've been pretty impressed. It's a good site. It's affordable. So we'll be back there. TBD on the cast that we have yet. We know that folks, tend to have a lot of, hopefully very busy. They're getting a lot of work and things like that. And we're not sure who's going to be free exactly, but we'll hopefully find out very soon. We'll start to promote our special guests. And that's when the writing team and I start to write a story specifically around, who we get to have for that. We had an incredible turnout last time we were in LA, upwards of 250 people.
Wow.
So we were, it was, great photos, great ambiance. We switched rooms in different nights, and hopefully a lot of fun. Now since we're doing Memorial Day weekend, we have another night. We would exhaust ourselves if we did a 4-night game. So
Yeah.
what we do is it's a little bit more time for socials. That's when Lamar did karaoke. We did a trivia night. That's when we did Giovanni family dinner originally,
Yeah.
which, way better in my opinion, fine as a lunch, great as a dinner,
Yeah.
we did high tea during the day. So you get so much more value of a 4-day event. It's a lot more relaxed. You get to meet people relax, make friends, enjoy downtown Los Angeles, find a great place to eat, all that stuff. So I'm so looking forward to this again. And I think it's going to be a fantastic event.
Yeah, that one's going to be great, guys. You can go to darknessemergent.com and pick up those tickets now. That is going to be May 21st through May 26th of 2026. So this is a great time for you to start saving for your tickets and your flight and your hotel and all of that fancy there. But coming in 2027 is probably some of the dopest shit that I've ever heard. I don't even know how y'all got this off, but Jimmy, talk us through Darkness Emergent at Sea.
Okay, so we're doing a cruise, and the cruise is like 7 nights long. And it's going to be like a big group of us. We're going to get a ton of space that's just ours. I think we're going to do 4 nights of LARP mixed in with the 7. It's not going to be like back to back because some nights we're at a port, so you can go out and enjoy the nightlife. We're going to do tabletop session, other events, panels during the day.
Yeah.
Who know, either a game or who knows what we're doing at night. All sorts of socials, all sorts of guests, things like that. Mr. B. Dave Walters is joining us again. Cynthia is joining us again. And TBD on who else we might be able to book on this as well.
Guys, like in 2025, folk are hosting LARPs on 7-day cruises. Do y'all hear me? Playing Vampire on a Royal Caribbean cruise is just some of the dopest shit that I saw come out this year in the gaming world. Like, that is going to be absolutely incredible. Okay, these are our final sign-offs. I'm going to let everyone say goodbye and where people can connect and find them. I'm going to play my gift video. I hope it launches for you guys. If it doesn't, thank you so much for joining us. But Victoria, baby, tell us one more time who you are and where people can find you if they want to connect.
Sure. Victoria Reve. You can find me on Instagram and TikTok and Facebook, and look out coming soon to Drive Through RPG because I'm going to be dropping a compendium to V5 there, and on YouTube soon with Beyond the Script.
Let's go, Victoria. Thank you for being my ride or die through
Love
all
you.
of Atlanta. I so deeply enjoyed being the Prince to your Seneschal. We were a great pairing, and you had my back in character, not a character, the entire damn time, and I genuinely appreciate it. Ernest, gorgeous. You gorgeous. You're just so fun to look at. Ernest, tell us who you are and where people can find you.
Hey, I'm Ernest. You can find me on the internet at HollowInvective. You can find me on Twitter because yes, I'm going to dead name that site.
I still do.
You can find me on Twitter. You can find me Instagram. You can find me on TikTok, where I should probably post more. Darlene, help! I should post more, right?
Yeah, Darlene.
And anywhere you want to see me.
Oh,
well, me, wow. I know I get to see him in my Thirst channel on Symphony's Patreon. Let me tell you, that was a delicious man. Ernest, my personal gratitude to you is you invest a lot into the communities around you. Not just as the Baron in Sandusky, but the storyteller up there. Everything that you've done to help me integrate into By Night Studios, everything that you do, especially for people of color in this gaming environment, is appreciated. Genuinely,
And
thank you for as much as you reinvest into these ecosystems. That investment matters. It definitely matters to me, and I know it matters to so many of your new players that are having such a good time under your leadership. Thank you for that.
I appreciate that, and I'm coming down tomorrow to harass you at your own game.
Oh, this is going to be so good. You're bringing that Ventru too, aren't you?
I am.
I'll try not to call you daddy when you walk in the door.
Pictures. Ooh,
Okay.
That's an old character. If it's the Venture I'm thinking of, that's a very old character.
Oh yeah.
You just made your eyebrows go up like what?
We're like, Victoria, don't worry, I'll send you pictures.
Like that is he's been around the block.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell him to play that character more. And Jimmy, love of my life, please, baby, tell us who you are one more time and how people can connect with you.
Oh man, I'm Jimmy Reckitt. I'm a creative director at By Night Studios. I know I'm hard to find though. I don't have a lot of time to be on social. I'll probably just to be in this Discord is the best way to do it. I answer when people at me. I'll post stuff every so often there that's kind of interesting to me. I hope everybody else likes too. Thoughts on gaming, developer stuff. How to write better stories. Yeah. And that's what I'm going to keep doing, I guess.
Yeah. Jimmy, my personal gratitude to you, and I think everyone can agree with this one. We all follow you for a reason. We all chase behind Jimmy for a reason. And I would love to say that it's just because you're good looking, but I'm pretty sure the world is going to admit from a storytelling and writing standpoint, you're brilliant and you actually give a damn about the people around you. You're on a call right now with 3 black faces for an event that a vampire or LARP that you just threw in Atlanta. And I think that's worth stopping and just going, thank you.
Yes.
Very welcome. Very welcome.
Genuinely, thank you. Hey, chat, you guys have been sexy and fun and flirtatious and ratchet and all over the place. I deeply appreciate it. By Night Studios, thank you so much for onboarding me, for having me, for bringing me out to Darkness Atlanta. Being able to portray a Black Prince was absolutely incredible in a venue like this. If you want to connect, we've already spoken about it. You can hop on this next cruise that's coming Valentine's Day 2027. If you want to get at us in Los Angeles, that's coming up Memorial Day 2026. Hop over into the By Night Studios Discord. But ultimately, guys, thank you for telling great stories. Thank you for trusting each other. And just thank you. Thank you for being creative in 2025 because that shit is hard.
Yep.
So thank you, Dungeon Plunger. With that, guys, I'm going to do my sign-off video. I hope you guys can hear it and watch it. And if not, we at least got through this without it crashing. Mwah. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Hey, guys, it's Bridgett. I just wanted to briefly give you a tour of just the generosity and the creativity that is Darkness Emergent Atlanta and everything that I brought home with me that I wasn't expecting. So this gorgeous bag came with this cool bottle of wine. Dude, look at the vampire cape on this one. And this was like the note that was on it. Like literally, I got a bottle of wine addressed to my character, which is amazing. These are the yes and no flags that were used at the trial of Jermaine. Very Malkavian, very rich. Speaking of Malkavian, holy hell, I got an in-character prop from the Nephilim, and then freaking Jura bought me like By Night Studios Malkavian mirror and this awesome steak that I'm totally not going to make great decisions with, and it's amazing. I got this gorgeous Tree of Life from, I believe, Kelly. I've got a program here that has signatures from Miss Magic and from Victoria and from Mark Meir and from like everyone's there, and that was super awesome. I love the additional pins and knickknacks. Jura is my daddy now. Has to be probably the funniest thing sitting on the table. This was an in-character gift that I got. This character told me that they always write or they always gift pins to people, and for my praxis, it was write your own future or someone else will. Guys, that's a freaking dope pin. I got freaking Belgian chocolates. Let's go. That was free from the By Night Studio tables. Look at some of these boon cards, guys. Like, why do they make Prestation look sexy? That is wild. This was my name placard for the plated dinner, which was amazing. I've got these gorgeous knickknacks here. I've got jewelry, which is absolutely amazing. The Happy Holidays. Pretty sure that's a Toreador symbol. Why are they still in my city? More jewelry, which is absolutely stunning. These were the lanyards that they gifted out, my badge, and then freaking RC's character, guys. Look at the presentation on this wine. So in character, if I remember correctly, she actually owns a vineyard. And it's just like, guys, imagine me trying to lug that back in my suitcase all the way back to Columbus. I did it, damn it. I definitely did it. But guys, this level of generosity and creativity and awesomeness is completely overwhelming. Thank you.